think what you're trying to ask is why am I so insistent upon giving out to them that blackness, that black power, that black pushing them to identify with black culture. I think that's what you're asking.
Song, look at the girl and whining down and go. I just butchered lyric. Hi everybody. That's what I'm feeling like though. It's the weekend. So hi, it's Riah.
Hey, it's Dynamiks.
And this is Angry Black People.
Yeah, we got a great show for you all today, man.
Yeah, what's good everybody? I hope everybody turns up this weekend, enjoys themselves in whatever way that is. We're gonna be at a kid's party. So
I'll try and turn up though. I might DJ.
Yeah, he fancies himself a DJ nowadays.
No, I don't. It's a reclusive hobby that I do from time to time, you know. Yeah, it's cool though. It's cool. It's fun. Cool. I do it at Talented Tuesdays. Shout out to Talented Tuesdays. Shout out to
Featured
a partner,
sessions.
Andrew Soul at Talented Tuesdays. Feature sessions coming up real soon.
Yeah, 30th of March.
100% be there.
Yeah. Sterling's Bar. Should we?
21 Ludgate Hill. Yeah? Birmingham, by the way. So if you're in Japan, you can't fly over. Well, you could if you're that rich.
Yeah, things are that lit.
Yeah.
Okay. I got like a PSA, yeah, that I just want to start off with because I feel like very, very, very annoyed by this. What is up with all these dream killers around the place? Like, seriously. Like, people have things that they want to do and they want to accomplish in life, and it doesn't always mean that they have to be walking for somebody to do it. Stop squashing people's dreams. Stop going around telling people that they shouldn't do this and they shouldn't do that. Or if people want to be independent or outside of the system, please stop disheartening people and discouraging people. Like, it's really bad. Like, this is why we're in the places that we are right now. Like, if somebody says something and you don't agree with it, you don't have to do anything. As a matter of fact, just pass it like it doesn't apply to you, because it doesn't. Unless it does, and then you just look guilty as hell. Like, just let shit be.
Yeah, in like 2012, when I graduated, you know, my teacher was telling me, oh, don't start with studio. Why don't you get your teaching degree and come back and teach here? And I said to him, like, bro, listen, why would I spend all of this money and all of this time, yeah, to learn something that I love properly to then teach somebody else how to do it and watch them do it? Does that make sense to you? He's like, oh, well, studios are closing down. One says, you know, they're probably doing the wrong things. And that's why they were closing down. Well, a lot of them. They were doing the wrong thing. Some of them was for financial reasons, but some of them were doing the wrong thing. So, like, I set about deciding that I'm going to open my own studio, and then I'm actually going to revolutionize the way how studios run and how studios work. And the number one thing I did was just to put the customer first, put the customer back into the driving seat, and it worked for me. So, like, you can't listen to dream killers. Like my friend, he was like, oh, you're so intelligent. Why don't you go and work in an office and start from the bottom and work your way up to the top? I'm like, so why are people so scared of failure? Why are they so scared of like falling down? You can get back up with new information. Like, if you walk in somewhere and you bump into a stump or something like that, guess what? Next time you're walking down there, your mind gonna say to you, yo, bro, the stump's at that point, so look where you're going.
Yep.
If you bump into that stump again, then you're an idiot, because you should.
You should remember where the stump is. Like, that's how your brain works. But
I mean, the world is a free place, so guess what? There's idiots in the business place. Still not saying everyone's an idiot in the business place, but there are idiots in the business place. So you can't just look at that. You can't just look at failure until you understand why people fail. So people are so afraid of failing, so they go out and they work for a system. They're angry every day. They're mad at their job. They can't smile at nobody. Saw a lady working in a coffee shop, was like, smile. She's like, oh, I don't really do smiling. It's not my thing. I'm like, how are you in customer service?
And you don't smile? What kind of fucker is that?
You're the first point of contact, and it's so early in the morning, and your face. How are you mad at breakfast, bro? That Cat Williams said. How are you gang banging on bacon? That's what Cat Williams said. Whereas she like, how are you so mad?
And you're serving coffee as well. Like, you're supposed to be happy and perky, man.
Yeah, of course. Even on my Facebook feed, I posted like a salary is a bribe for you to forget your dreams. And people came on the day and they felt so offensive. But working pays the bills. Hello, working does pay the bills. But I could work for myself and pay the bills. Yeah, I could pay the bills by swimming with turtles on a tropical beach somewhere, because I've seen these jobs being advertised. And if that's what you want to do,
can we be turtle swimmers?
you know what I mean?
Totally good for
All
that.
you got to do is just tag the turtles, make sure they're okay. I've seen those jobs happening. You know, you work in a nature reserve, whatever. You can actually do the job that you love if you took the time to go out there and seek for it. But instead, you take a wage packing boxes because you want to have the seat at someone's guaranteed table.
Yeah, and that's not cool. Like, I'm not saying it's for everybody. Ouch. I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm getting abused here. I'm not saying it's for everybody. But yeah, like if you're content with what you do and you love what you do, nobody's saying not to, because you need teachers, you need janitors, you need nurses, you need doctors, you need every facet of society to function, obviously. But at the same time, stop, like, you can't discourage people who have something, a bigger purpose, from fulfilling it, because at the end of the day, it makes people miserable. There's a lot of people who get to 50 and 60 and completely unhappy with their lives because they didn't follow their dreams when they were younger. So stop discouraging young people from following their dreams. Follow every dream that you have to the best of your ability, so that when you die, or when you're on your deathbed, or whenever it is that you're reflecting on life, you can say that you absolutely positively did all the things that you wanted to do.
And if you're living in a first world country, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? What, you end back up on job seekers? Is that the worst that can happen? So you're not even going to be out in the street suffering. Like, if you followed your dream. Seriously, in some places, you don't even have a safety net to fall on. In the UK, you have a safety net. So you can take two. Your youth is about exploring. So when you're a young person, explore your dreams. Try things that you want to try. Don't fall into the adult traps so early, trapping yourself down with kids at the age of 22 trying to live an adult life, and then you're unhappy and miserable. Come on.
And then when you break out at 40, you're like, hey!
And then you're in the club cougaring trying or being some kind.
Nice.
Or either you're cougaring or you're that old uncle, in the club trying to look young in skinny jeans with a belly.
Yeah. Yo, yeah. So, like, yeah, stop squashing people's dreams. And another thing, this is on a lighter note. Nollywood is lit. I completely forget how lit Nollywood is. Like, fuck Hollywood. Nollywood is where it's at. Like, I was getting so tired of looking at, like, Netflix and just having, like, a bunch of, like, people that don't look like me on the screen. So I was like, you know what? Forget this. I just went on YouTube and I typed in Nollywood 2017. And these people are working. When I tell you, they got, like, at least 300 videos out. Probably just for this year alone.
Wow.
So these people done make, like, and completely different storylines. All at least 2 to 3 hours long. And they done make all of these movies.
Wow.
Like,
Nollywood is cool. Just don't understand, they need to work on the sound, because I don't know how they scream so loud that the sound just ends up being distorted all the time. Maybe that's a feature.
no, listen, I don't care about the sound. I don't even care about the quality. It literally is just hilarious. Like, okay. But yeah, it's a sick thing. They've had a couple comedies that had me up last night laughing. But so yeah. Okay, so moving on to our first segment. Fake news, yeah? So we're asking what the fuck America, because that is a question that we ask every week. And just like America, we can always depend on the bullshit to keep on flowing.
Yeah.
So this week.
It keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder every single week. Like, I just don't know how they manage to do it, but yeah. Just when you think that they've topped it, it's like, wait, hold on, there's another layer of bullshit to go. So
I'm literally amazed and fascinated, and I apologize to anybody that would actually turn this on and want to tune out from the BS, because I'm sorry, it is absolutely too captivating to not pay attention to. So Donald Trump and Snoop Dogg have had a disagreement of sorts. Snoop Dogg released a song recently, Bad Bad Not Good.
I love the title. Oh gosh, must have
Donald
had
Trump
fun
speak.
picking that.
That was Donald Trump speak for sure. Bad.
Bad
Bad.
EPA,
Bad EPA. Bad protections.
bad China, bad China.
Bad clean water.
Orange soda. We replace the water system with orange.
Let's tax the sun. You know what? It would tax the sun because Donald Trump doesn't actually tan. He just rubs on that fake tan, so they don't even care. Just tax the sun.
Just rubs cancer in his skin every day. Cause that shit's just like cancer, man. Like that. Ugh.
Well, if it was cancer, he'd be dead already. He ain't dead, so he got clearly.
Evil
he's got
people don't lie. Evil people don't die. They don't die.
Get it.
Trust
Why
me.
wicked people don't die? It's
They're like cockroaches.
Yeah, it's
You smash it, you think, and before you know it, you see this bastard crawling where you're like, what? How did that die?
especially
Just-
cockroaches in the Caribbean. Like they don't even like react to flip no more.
Exactly.
Like, it's just
they
like
don't die.
who you spraying? Not me.
It's like a fly. You have to catch that fly, man.
Okay.
So that's what bad people are like, trust me.
So, yeah, Donald Trump decides what he want to be. So, Snoop Dogg releases video, bad, not good, or whatever it is, yeah? And in this video, Snoop Dogg is portraying the world from a perspective where everybody is a clone. Which is kind of true when you think about it. But if you look at a video, there's a deeper meaning to it, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know what people have been looking at and being so upset with because throughout the 8 years of President Obama's presidency, I've seen Obama hanging from a noose. I've seen numerous death threats. I've seen people defile his image in numerous ways.
People doing blackface.
Like people have been burning the American flag.
Just
People-
like Obama doing
dressed like Obama
blackface,
doing
all
blackface.
sorts.
All sorts of things I've seen. So for Snoop Dogg to take a fake clown gun and point it at Donald Trump, a Donald Trump lookalike clone in a video, and bang comes out like all the clone movies and all the meme skits that you ever see. If you look back, it's a traditional clone skit thingy-majiggy where the bang comes out.
Yep.
And the man is alive at the end of the video. It's not even like they show him with like blood seeping from his head or some like violent scene on the ground.
Nothing. They
He's
didn't
literally
show-
there chained up. And that literally is Donald Trump in the White House with Steve Bannon anyways. So I don't understand
That's why people are complaining
why
about.
people are complaining. Like Steve Bannon lets him have his phone so he can tweet. But that's just about it when you think about
Kelly
it.
Conway has more freedom than Donald Trump right now. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, bless
Is
her
it
soul.
Sorry, Kellyanne. Well, it's the same thing. I shortened the name. Sorry. What is it? Kellyanne Conway Moore? Name what? 2 first names, 2 last names.
It's
Okay.
more her last name.
I don't know. I'm just fucking with you.
I thought it was just Kellyanne Conway. More sounds a bit, I don't know, ethnic.
Well, how could any white name be ethnic when we're all given the name of our slave masters?
I was thinking about
I didn't
more.
Oh, I didn't say
More.
Shaniqua. I meant more as in Moore.
Oh, that more.
That more.
Maybe
Nah.
they were Moors too. We never know.
Yes.
Where'd it come from?
Speaking to this white guy, the caretaker, and he was like, his name was Mervyn. I was so shocked. I was like, I've never met anybody that had my
your middle
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't want people to know that. I'm
Whatever.
sorry.
Anyways, so he was like, yeah, and he was like, I think my family escaped to Wales, and they changed the name from the Kenwins to Mervyn, but they kept the Y, so no one would know. And I just burst out. Like, I thought that was so funny. I was thinking, wow. So it's like, yeah, we probably started coming up with Shaniquas and everything like that to
You know-
just get away from.
No, I actually saw there's a chart that shows you the meaning of some of the names, and a lot of them are like Swahili words and not West African language words.
Oh,
and
wow.
like Xhosa and Zulu words as well. So a lot of the names that we think are ghetto aren't actually ghetto. Anyways,
Well,
back
the white supremacy actually degrades our entire culture and make us think that, we are less.
there's a difference. Like certain names, the names that people consider to be ghetto, I feel like certain names are pretty, and if you want to name, but it's going over the hand with the commas and the exclamation marks and the extra R's and all sorts. I don't
get
know.
it. So
Do what you do.
Let's say, so for people, do you think that Snoop Dogg went overboard? Or
I
do you think that Donald Trump. You know what I mean? He kind of the narrative of him being shown as a bad president. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even say it as a bad president. Donald Trump is a distraction. I will say again, everything that Donald Trump does
is a distraction. But
so
what actually is weird about this situation is T.I. put his input in, and T.I. basically came back and cussed Donald Trump the F out. Like, literally, if you have an Instagram page or whatever, go and look at T.I.'s reply to Donald Trump. He just gave him a good old, like, cuss out. Because Donald Trump replied to Snoop Dogg and said that Snoop Dogg's career is failing. And what was like, if they had done that to President Obama, he would have been arrested. Or whatever the case is. So, Snoop Dogg just was like, I'm not replying. I don't have shit to say in typical Snoop Dogg fashion. So, da-da-da-da-da. Next thing.
Talking about Donald Trump anyways.
Again. So, last night on MSNBC and
MSNBC. You can never say this thing, right? Wow.
On MSNBC, Rachel Maddow.
Electrocution.
Electrocution?
Oh, you see? Freaking hell. Karma. Anyways.
Listen, it's only become my accent so strong where I can't say certain things, you know. Okay.
I like the strong accent. Keep it.
Anyhow.
They like the strong accent too. Carry on.
Rachel Maddow, decided that she's gonna break the story along with another journalist talking about Donald Trump's 2005 tax returns, and she got like the first 2 pages of it or whatever the case is. And they decided to dedicate like an entire 2 hours of the news to Donald Trump's old tax returns, which look like they've been leaked by Donald Trump himself as a distraction. Obviously.
While we waiting on the actual tax returns.
Well, what? No, waiting on what? That man's not going to disclose them. The period of time for him to disclose them is gone like ages ago. So he doesn't have to know. He's already the president. What can they do?
Trump is what? Trump is broke in money, but he's rich in assets. So what he's actually trying to do right now is just use the presidential seat as a way for him and his cronies to generate maximum profit.
I'm telling you, the White House is gonna be called the Trump House by the time the man leave. I'm telling you, if he don't leave with a model White House to go build somewhere in the desert so people could see exactly what a White House had looked like when he was living in it.
Actually, that's a smart idea.
But I'm telling you, Donald Trump wants to come out here with all sorts of presidential propaganda after the fact.
And he's going to put it in the new Vegas that he wants to build. Because he wants to build.
Do you think he'll approve it for himself?
Of course he's going to approve himself.
But I don't know if that'd be fair, though.
That's why he's trying to get rid of the, well, we won't get into that.
The environment?
The whole environment. Well, let's move the sun.
A little over that way.
No, a bit farther away. It's too hot. Too hot.
Too hot.
A bit too hot in Vegas. Let's move the sun a bit back. Bring the moon a bit closer for the natural light.
Yeah, get rid of the ozone layer in that part. Yeah. Let's get rid of China's ozone layer altogether. Let's just realign. Let's realign Orion's belt while we at it.
100%. These are the type of powers that these guys want, actually.
But speaking of distractions, there's so many things. Like, literally, I think there was a report that came out from Al Jazeera where there's about 2,000 actions filed, like, recently.
Wow.
In the White House to be done.
So they are doing a lot of work. So while he's out golfing, they're putting in some serious work in the White House, undermining everything.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so so Donald Trump proposes a huge EPA budget cut. So about 38% of the Environmental Protection Agency. So it's gonna stop like researching climate change. Mick Mulvaney of the White House Office and Management Budget told reporters, you can't drain the swamp and leave all the people in it. So I guess the first place that comes to mind would be the Environmental Protection Agency.
So now they've turned that saying about draining the swamp around to actually say they need to get rid of a lot of people in the Environmental Agency. Yo, these people are some superstar spin doctors, man.
All the prosecutors, all the people who going out and doing the research, all the people, but. Which is weird because they have fracking and you're getting rid of the Environmental Protection Agency.
I was just gonna say, like, a country that has such lax laws already on the environment. The fact that you're the number one, you have Monsanto. You have Monsanto that's engineering seeds. Seeds, they're engineering plants that don't produce seeds. You talk about messing up the environment already, and you have Monsanto that exists.
And don't
that
forget
got-
the electronic
that,
bees.
that as well. And then you have countries you got countries where you have farmers, like India and Africa are actually committing suicide and are killing themselves because they can't afford to buy seeds by Monsanto.
Yep. And
From Monsanto, and you guys are literally sitting down and talking about, oh well, you know what, we want to reduce regulation. You know what is, you don't want any regulation. You want a free-for-all, no financial regulation, no environmental regulation. So if anybody can come up with any company they want, this is destroy the environment, do whatever they want.
don't forget they get
And
rid of
it's-
labor laws as well.
Yep. Fighting the unions. You know what, it's gonna be like Wild Wild West all over again.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll come in, I'll take your land, I'll take your money, I'll take your wife, your kids, put them to work for me, and hey, what can you do? Because there's no laws.
Well, good luck with that.
Unless you're black, of course.
Yeah, we have
Just-
already been going through that. I mean, there's nothing here. There's nothing new, really.
But if you're white and you're poor, they're coming for you too. Just
Well,
remember
they've
that.
been coming for you, but it's gonna be a little bit more obvious now. I don't like if you start growing two heads. I'm sorry, that's probably your water supply. Like literally. That's it.
100%. I talk about the vaccines, talking about the how the FDA is unregulated, the drug administration is unregulated. Like for example, you can put a drug out on the market without any testing, any proper testing.
They do testing. They do.
No, they
some
don't. They
kind
do
of
like
testing,
a small.
but-
They do like a
yeah,
very
like a
small focus
yeah.
group. That's not testing. I
But
get
what
40
it is
people in
that
a room.
say in Europe
It's not- there's no long-term
send
testing.
Okay, the difference is that, say in Europe when they send a drug to get approved by the European Drug Agency, what they do is they look in the drug for any properties that might cause damage to human beings. Whereas in America, when they send a drug to the Food and Drug Administration to get approved, what they will do, they will look and see if it has any adverse effects. But at that point in time, they don't. No, wait. What I'm saying is they don't look at the actual ingredients.
Raya, this is what they do.
don't look at the banned. They don't look at a banned.
I watched the
substance.
documentary
Yes.
on this. They will give it to the doctors,
Yes.
private doctors, to literally test it
yes.
on their clients. Yeah, that's their test. Oh, you didn't die? Guess what? We'll roll it out. Oh, you did die? Guess what? We're not gonna prosecute anybody, but we'll kind of take that
Yeah, we
drug
won't
off,
take it out. Yeah,
and then we'll bring another drug in that's similar to it, and the process will be repeated again.
Yeah, pretty much.
They've shown it.
So, yeah.
So I can't call that regulation when they can
It's
do
not
things like
really
that.
regulation. Well, even if you want to think about that, now in the news they're saying that ibuprofen raises the likelihood of cardiac arrest to about 31%.
But
So
we
they've
knew
been
that.
selling. So ibuprofen is like Advil or the ones that are coated sweet. So there's a couple things that work for ibuprofen. They're branded in like the Caribbean or in America. In England, they just call it ibuprofen. I don't know what they call it in Europe. I would assume it's ibuprofen as well. But yeah. So 50%. Actually, wait, hold on. Diclofenac, which is used alongside ibuprofen, also finds that there's a 50% increase in cardiac arrest in using that as well. So basically, they're out here giving you these painkillers over the counter, and now they find out that they can kill you. So be careful.
Okay, you know, back in the day, for example, they used to be like, matter of fact, they tell you these side effects. But back in the day, they used to be like, Advil, side effects of, be like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's like Advil kills the pain. Penile side effects include penile erectile dysfunction.
Kidney disease, liver
Your toe
problem.
might fall off.
Your toe might fall off. Your brain might seep out of your head. But
Insomnia.
that pain might go.
Loss of feeling in your body.
Depression. Wait, have you ever seen
Yeah,
the ones?
depression.
Like it treats anxiety, but it treats penile dysfunction, but it might cause depression, or it treats bipolar, but it might cause depression.
Like almost
Or
everything they give you causes
causes
depression. But hey, if you're depressed, here's some more pills. So you know how this thing works. That's why us black people, we need to go back to What's called natural herb remedies.
Dr.
'Cause-
Subby told y'all there's a cure in nature for everything. It's a matter of balance.
exactly. Way how the world works, where the Most High works, where the world was created, everything is in balance. So if you are out of balance, it means that diseases can happen. So you need to keep your body in equilibrium.
In equilibrium.
That's it. What's the next one?
So yeah. So part of the distraction with Donald Trump, he unveiled his budget. So this is the first budget for, I guess it applies to I think after April or something like that, 2017 to 2018. And basically it just slashes funds for the poor and the sick, basically.
So poor people voted Donald Trump in, and the first thing that he does is like, well, poor people and sick people, we can't afford that. But you know what we can't afford though? $54 billion more dollars for the biggest military
in the
world. That's bigger than all
Actually,
the other.
Russia's spending has outgrown the Americans, which is why the Americans trying to catch up.
We don't care. We're not talking about spending, because I think that Russia had what, 8,000 nuclear warheads or something like that.
Yeah,
I think America had what, 7,000 or 6,000 nuclear warheads. Really, how much nuclear warheads do you need to bomb the whole world? You got enough already.
I suppose one nuclear bomb will do the trick. So I don't know why you got like so much.
So you got 8,000. So you could literally bomb every country if you wanted to, or at least every, I would say, landmass.
Yeah,
easily.
Possibly, yeah, easily.
No, you could bomb every country.
Every landmass.
You could bomb every country in the
you
world.
probably cause a couple tidal waves, wipe off a couple islands.
You could bomb with 8,000. You could bomb every country in the world.
Yeah, probably.
100%.
100%.
Every single country, and still have
Some
nuclear
leftover.
warheads
then you
left
just nuke
over.
the moon and just finish the sun off.
Exactly.
Because you done fuck the rest of it.
And just shake with some of the aliens that if you guys come here, do you see what we're doing to our old people?
Why you destroy the earth? And when you destroy like people, what are you gonna do? Like, who are you gonna rule?
White
over?
supremacists.
Are you gonna like dig your own diamonds out of the ground?
No, they're gonna go back to living in caves. That's what it is.
Is that what their aim was?
Yes,
Just to
destroy
get back
the
to
planet.
to the back of living caves. Because I'm seriously confused by that. Like, I don't get the end game here, but I guess they won't be alive for it.
There
so they
is
don't
no
care.
end game. It's just like my dick is bigger than yours, and we're gonna control all the resources, and we're going to hoard everything. And guess what? The rest of everybody's gonna starve, and then you guys can worship us.
And
Look,
that
we
is
have the
what-
food.
That is
You
what
don't.
America reminds me of. America reminds me of a rich man with a small penis and a really ludicrous expensive car.
America reminds me of that little kid that is an only child that you see them at the nursery trying to grab all the toys like, it's mine, don't play with my toy,
I was
this is
that
my
kid.
toy, no, don't touch that
Hello.
one. And then they
I feel
grab them
very
and you see
offended.
them running over for the other toys so the kids grab it like, give me that toy, that's my toy too. And then they're holding all the toys and they can't move.
I'm sorry.
Because if they move, a toy drops and the kid picks up like, no, mommy, my toy. That's what America is.
I maybe wasn't that drastic, but it was that my toy type of kid.
Have you seen those kids? I just laugh at them like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Probably
How
wouldn't
much
laugh
toys you want to play with? What, one in your hand and on the other hand your foot's pushing the toy? Fire truck and another one over
Well,
here?
no, it wasn't that ludicrous, but I was on my tie type of person. As in, when I was done with a tie, I would put it down. You could play with it, but if I pick up another tie,
Then that's your
then
toy
that's
too.
my tie too.
Well, that's the... Unfortunately, America is just picking up countries like my country. My resources over here. My Africa. Okay, China, you can play with it for a little bit.
So you know what it is though?
But-
Americans exploiting Americans and Europeans was exploiting Africa way before the Chinese discovered it. So now the Chinese get to come in and do the secondary exploiting.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the diamond mines. The Europeans already got the big old diamond mines and big old gold mines and stuff. So
Imagine.
they ain't really looking for the little dregs. So you got smaller mines. So China now coming in and mining in the smaller mines and doing their thing there. While the bigger corporations control.
I don't
And they
understand.
still making money.
So the Queen and Prince, what is his name? Prince Philip?
Prince Philip.
Yeah, what's her husband's name? Isn't it Prince Philip?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
They got all of these diamonds and jewelry, and it's still so ugly. That dude he's still so they're still so ugly. I've never seen somebody that wears so much expensive clothes and they still look so ugly. Like no swag at all. You got billions of dollars. All of that jewelry, everything, and no
offend
swag.
the monarchists in the country, and they might find you.
They can find me. I give the queen with her colors though. She expressive with her colors, her lime greens and her baby blues.
This is a woman born in 1920 or something like that, or before 1920. Yeah, she was born in about 1920 or something.
I'm just
like
saying,
that.
for all of that money and all of that everything, all the resources that they're hoarding, you know what I mean? I still see powerful black couples going out, and they still look. Matter of fact, Obama and Michelle was still looking flyer than the queen is never looked to me.
These people exist in a completely different realm from us. Like, they don't know. Like, they probably be looking. Don't you see how the little Duchess girl got a dress? Like, they be looking down at people who don't look a certain way. So obviously their dress code is what's
that's why they stole all our clothes and rubies and things to dress themselves. You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay. All right. What's the next?
Okay. So the next one is the Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. He's accused of using a fake email address to admit that climate change is real and to help Exxon deny it for profit. Now, normally, if this had came out at any other point in time, I think normally if something of this magnitude comes out in any other country, you would not be in that position. However, nobody is really talking about this, and this man is still in his position as Secretary.
Yeah, because when you have somebody who's pissing or weeing over the country, like a little email scandal can't. Donald Trump is peeing over the country. Like, how are you gonna be trying to check a man's email when a man's peeing over the country? He used a fake email to admit climate change is real. Like, wow. Like, you know what? Okay, how juvenile, but seriously, like, you're gonna throw the man in prison because he said climate change is real?
No, you don't throw him out in prison. You just not make him the Secretary of State.
Because he used a fake email?
Not because of the fake email. You're trying to help ExxonMobil deny climate change.
I thought you just said that he said climate change is real.
He admitted that it's real, and he tried to help ExxonMobil deny it.
Oh, so he was admitting... He was admitting with
so he knows it's real.
On. Was he admitting with a fake email that it was real? While as a mouthpiece and he was getting paid by Exxon, he was denying it.
Yes.
Okay, so what you're basically saying that in his private life,
he knows that climate change is real.
He knows that it's real. Yeah? But in his office life...
For money. Yes.
Well, that's just like any other person. They're all lying.
I know, but I'm saying you're not supposed to be... How is this okay? This doesn't happen.
No. What I'm saying, this is not. It's not that it's okay. It's that they're all liars and they're all lying, and we know that their private opinions many times differ to their public opinions. But he's just doing this obviously because he's doing it for his paymasters. But at the end of the day, ExxonMobil, all the lobbyists, they have put all these guys in power. Come on,
my dude.
BP, all of them. We know that they have been put into power.
This is not kosher.
So.
It's not.
No, I'm not saying that it's kosher. I'm saying compared to what is actually going on in the White House right now.
But this is the problem. The man causing so much damn distractions that this isn't supposed to be like this.
I know,
he would have
but
been
for me,
resigning
right
like
now,
yesterday. Could you imagine this being the chancellor?
I'm just like they really America.
Or the Home Secretary. Could you imagine our Home Secretary making this type of statement and still? At least
they've done in Britain. They've done far worse things than that. Matter of fact, all of the MPs got caught lying on their
statements, and a lot of them that did step down.
They stepped down, but the most significant ones they didn't. Man,
who?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Do you really want me to go into this?
Yes.
People who are claiming that they on their second homes, yeah?
We know all of that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Name names.
I don't have any specific name right now, but there were a lot of prominent people.
Okay, baby.
Even David Cameron was caught up in one of them, or his people was caught up in one of them, and nothing didn't happen.
Okay, well, on to the British.
I'm sure Theresa May was probably caught up in that scandal years ago. I can research it, but I'm sure they were caught up years ago.
Probably.
A lot of them were caught up in that scandal. It was a massive thing.
It was.
Everybody had their hands in the cookie jars.
Listen, all I'm trying to say is that there's no accountability. And the only reason I'm really genuinely concerned about this is normally the British tend to take the cues as to what they feel like they could get away with from America, and the rest of the world tends to take the cue as to what
Well,
they
I
feel
think
they could get away
the
with
Scottish
from
the Scottish
America.
Parliament ain't
They ain't having
allowing
it.
nobody to get away with anything
nothing.
right now. It's like they've lit a they've lit a hornet's nest
Yep.
in Scotland, a fire, and these guys have gotten stung and they're angry.
The whole of
So nothing
Scotland,
ain't passing right now.
Scotland literally only voted to stay within the UK because the UK was a part of the EU. So imagine the madness in Scottish people's heart right now, knowing that they're not going to be part of the EU.
Okay.
And the UK is giving them absolutely no choice in the matter.
Okay.
I don't know about
Might be
anybody
a war
else.
soon.
And Theresa May decided that she's just gonna tell Nicola Sturgeon. You know what? And Nicola Sturgeon is the head of the Scottish Parliament,
SNP?
the SNP party.
Okay.
And she literally told the lady, you know what? Nah, we ain't got time for you guys to have another referendum. This is not the time. So stay in your place, basically.
Wow.
So Northern Ireland and Scotland, like, I feel for them, to be honest, because this isn't their decision. Like, they wasn't a part of this.
I actually feel for Britain, because Britain is looking real weak right now, and like people are pulling some statistics and some
empire.
figures and some what was it, $7 trillion in debt?
Well, $1.7 trillion.
Or $1.7 trillion, but still,
Yeah.
who you owe $1,000 billion to?
I have no idea. Don't ask me. I can't count that much. Like,
How did you fall asleep and like, oh shit, we owe $1.7 trillion
the trade deficit was
to who?
Was a trade deficit something like 700 million or something like
It
that?
was something ridiculous.
That's a madness, though.
No, that's a madness.
And this is a country that's supposedly going to be independent.
700
now.
million sounds.
So
good.
that
It
means
had
like
to be
even your
at
former
least
Commonwealth
a few
countries
billion.
doing a little better than you, because India, I think India is doing a little better.
No, India's doing nice.
Yeah, 'cause
They've stopped
India-
sending
paid out
their
their
bright
debt.
and they've stopped
Yeah.
sending their bright people to America like that. They're now creating their own
own
Silicon Valley,
yeah.
and they're about to become Intel, and a lot of those people are actually now working with India.
Yeah.
They have started building phones. They're actually
They're
coming
doing
up.
their thing. So you see, and that's a big.
Even though they have Indian supremacists over there who are oppressing the dark Indian people, I might add. But that's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah.
I just had to point them out to say, like,
Their
you know what?
caste system is a madness.
I know you guys are looking good right now, but y'all need to fix up at the same time. But
Yeah.
going back to this, I'm just saying that for me right now, it's like Britain is looking really, really weak. Really, really weak. So they really need to sort their stuff out. And Theresa May got women looking bad, but
Hey, suavemento.
I just
See, no.
you know, because the only other woman president which was Margaret Thatcher, and she was one of the
thing is,
worst
what
prime
people don't
ministers
understand-
possible. I'm not saying that it's women
No.
that are. I'm just saying that
But
it just so happens.
in that environment, you don't tend to get. In that environment, you don't tend to. Here in the West, you don't tend to. No, I was having this conversation with somebody on the staff, someone on Facebook actually. We don't tend to get the type of woman that's the nurturing female that could probably contribute in a better way to the country running in politics, because to be that type of person, you easily get eat up by these vile men, like dead ass. So when they see women in those positions, you don't understand the face that a woman has to hold in those positions. I might not agree with Theresa May and what she's doing, but I will never put it on her as womanhood, because I understand the pressures of being a woman in a man's world, and that politics is a man's world. Just because she's a prime minister or whatever the case is, it doesn't take away the fact that when she sit down in the House of Parliament, most of the MPs and the people that she working with still men, and
Okay,
the people
Solange.
the people that she has to lead still men.
Okay, Riah, literally, I was just making a little joke, you know. I didn't need the whole essay on it, but however, we appreciate that you stay true to your feminist self. And whenever you
I'm
hear
not
the
a
word
feminist.
woman being used in any inappropriate form, you stand up for them. 100% respect that. Okay, what's the
You're
next
funny.
topic?
Okay, so yeah. Since we're in the UK already, let's just talk about what's going on over here. Okay, so Riah has been given to Article 50, the Article 50 bill. So that means that any day now, Theresa May can definitely pull the trigger and start the process of removing the UK from the European Union. Next week, the EU is meeting, the 27 countries meeting without the UK to try to forge a way forward. I want to say big up to the Netherlands. They had their elections and they went against the populist right and actually went with populist left. And they've now, well, center right, I would say.
Populist is a term now, yeah?
Yeah, because populist leaders are rising everywhere.
Who the people love.
Yeah, so it's
I just hope they don't shaft the people. That's
it wasn't
seriously.
that in the Netherlands. Sorry, in the Netherlands, like much of Europe, you had the choice of the stance that they've had already, because this is a person that was in there from before, and then you had people who were anti-immigration, well, you know, them far right.
I hate that word. I just hate
what, immigration?
That word.
Immigration.
Anti-immigration.
What it really means is white supremacist, basically.
Okay. And I know I said this in so many podcasts, so I have to say it again. If you are a white supremacist, yeah, your country went over the entire face of the earth, raping and pillaging. They went and they stayed in everybody's countries. They went and stayed in everybody's countries. They were the number one immigrants. America is made up of immigrants. Australia is made up of immigrants. New Zealand is made up of immigrants. South Africa is made up of white immigrants. Spain ain't liking you all because you guys have just went over there and are just building everywhere. So
I was watching a thing on that. Do you know the British man? Wait.
I'm not done. England is made up of immigrants because, matter of fact, Welsh have more rights. Yeah, have more rights to England than you guys do. The Vikings, they came over here, they merged with the people, yeah? Mm-hmm. And you know where the Vikings are from? Denmark.
Mm-hmm. Most people with like mostly brown hair or whatever the case is, and like a shorter stature, a thicker build or whatever, like people that you would see in Wales a lot or whatever the case is, or like traditional British looking people, they are what. Are you shaking your head at me? I just say like they're traditionally British looking people.
Yeah.
And those are the people that were originally here. So anybody coming through with them, what, blonde hair, red hair?
They are from Norway and Denmark. Uh-huh. They are what? Vikings. Yeah, so you guys are immigrants here. At the end of the day, you're immigrants. You haven't. Trust me. The Germanic tribes who came here and then took and. Where do you think even language come from? Where you think all of those strong words, that four-letter words that you use come from?
Yeah.
They come from that Germanic language.
Your royal family is German, for God.
Saxons, the Angles. Listen, Saxons and the Angles, they are Bavarian. They're from Germany. You understand? So you're not even English.
Yeah, technically. So I don't know what we all over here talking about. But the thing is, I don't know what they're talking about. Amongst people though, but because you gotta admit, Caribbean people are some of the most anti-immigration people ever as well.
And I'd accustom the same because I don't understand why you are afraid of free movement of people and free movement of trade. Here's what you need to be afraid of. Letting criminals into the country, yes. You can have a limit on the amount of people coming into your country that are not going to be contributing to your country, yes. But guess what? When I go to the NHS, most of them people in there are the doctors. A lot of them are immigrants.
It's very hard to be an immigrant. The amount of fees that are associated with being an immigrant from paying. It costs you money at every step of the way to be an immigrant. It costs you money to come here to even try to make a better life. You have to pay for time. You have to have a certain amount of money in your bank account. It has to be there at odd points in time. So even if you starve and you can't take out £10 or that, because they might call and check on your status at any point in time. There's a whole bunch of things that are required to be an immigrant. So for people to think here and sit here and think that immigrants come into the country and stealing, especially Becky with the pack of cigarettes and the 2 children
Who's
on
on the council
estate,
estate? Who's on
benefits. You don't be coming to say that anybody thief in your job because you damn well know you ain't going nowhere to go.
never looked for a job in your life.
And you and your cousin sitting out drinking cider all day, every day.
Matter of fact, Britain has this whole culture where this is unspoken thing that get pregnant as a teenager and you get a free house.
Basically. Like, y'all know that system by the T. Y'all have your mothers kicking out daughters at age of 14, 15 so them could get on the ladder to get the house by the time them 20, however the case is.
Exactly.
You got a formula. Have the second child so you could get a 2-bedroom and then you're chilling and you're comfortable for life. This has been a generational hustle in this place. So the fact that you got the audacity to feel like are you a place because of anybody else but your own laziness is absolutely wrong. You feel entitled because you're in your country, but fuck off with that bullshit. Stop being lazy.
No, it's facts because I know for a fact that the NHS always putting out calls to the overseas because not enough British people are training to become doctors. They can't find good doctors amongst them. Because even the system to even train doctors here, I don't know what it is. But I'll be honest with you,
it's a there's a
lack in it. There's a lack of it.
It's not supported as well as it could be because it's an extended time and you have to come from a certain social class basically to be able to afford it appropriately. So they got a whole bunch of barriers that they could break down and they could have more people coming through the system, but they don't want that. So it's very clear. And all these austerity cuts and things that they're putting in place is mostly affecting women as well because a lot of immigrant women per se because they tend to work in care. They tend to work in the healthcare system.
100%.
And all of that. And you're pushing people towards poverty by doing the things that you're doing at the moment. So
100%. So when you kick out all the immigrants, are you going to become the cleaners? You're going to be waking up early to do the cleaning? Are you going to be taking care of your sick and your elderly? No, because who's taking care of your sick and your elderly? You all park all your mothers into care homes.
Yep.
We traditionally, we keep our mothers with us until they die.
You know, putting your mother in a home. That's not. I mean, if it really
and
is
I know the
situation
Indians
that
and the
you can't-
Pakistanis they practice that as well. The Asians they practice that as well, and the Chinese they practice that as well.
That's not cool. Like that's your parent. Like they took care of you. Like I understand some people don't have time, and if you genuinely don't have time, and you feel like it's affecting your parent, then that might be the best situation for them. But if you have the time and you're putting your parent in a home to be lonely and mistreated by carers, then you're absolutely horrible, in my opinion.
And the carers, and I've seen some horrible stories with these carers in the UK. Horrible stories.
Yeah.
People getting their money stolen. People getting pimped out in a way like, okay, you know what, come and sign this. So everything they want, they just get the
card with the money and stuff.
Yeah, to buy what they want to buy.
Yeah, that's some madness. So, yeah.
yeah. I don't want to because stay on this topic all this. I don't want to stay on this topic. Like, to be honest, like.
Okay, to lighten up the mood a bit. So apparently the M25. Now this is like a major motorway in the UK. It was closed down by the police, and what was the police looking for? They were looking for a man's penis. I don't understand. Like, I saw this in the news and I was so confused. First of all, how does one's penis go missing on the highway of all places?
Well, apparently he slept with a gypsy's girlfriend, and the gypsies roll, they don't mess about, so they allegedly held the guy down, cut his penis off to teach him a lesson. Well, he's learned a lesson.
What vagina in this world is worth you getting your linger cut off by?
None.
None. I find that to be hilarious because I don't understand why the police was looking for it. But hey,
well, I guess
shouldn't that be like the EMT?
I don't think that's their duty. Why you shutting down a motorway to look for a man's penis? Like,
I mean, they can replace it with his thumb by now.
That is why.
Do you think it was a black guy they look for his penis?
It was not a black guy. No way. Looking at a black guy's penis and most like, ha, he's lost his penis.
They be cutting our penises off for fun, so I'm quite sure that they wasn't gonna be looking for it to put back on.
Maybe they're looking for it to sell it on the black market. Cause they're selling body parts. It's a regular thing.
So what, am I gonna find a white guy one day and I'm gonna just pull his pants down and it's gonna be like this big black penis?
Probably they haven't found a way. They haven't found a way because you know what it is. They probably could do that by now and then bleach it. You know, with all that bleaching cream. You know.
Oh, so you just want to bleach it?
Yeah,
get the
bleach it
melanin
just
out.
to match it. You know.
Yo, them a bleach. Hey,
Okay,
hey.
let me stop messing. Let me stop.
Okay.
Nah, I just think I think it's a literally waste of taxpayers' money.
Yeah,
That's
that
what I
was
think.
that. I would have been hella mad. Okay, so the last thing today, Henrietta Lacks. There's a movie coming out about Miss Henrietta Lacks. Now, if you don't know about Miss Henrietta Lacks, she was the lady who basically helped scientists. Well, I wouldn't say helped.
She
'cause
didn't help.
really
Why
help
are you Why are you always trying to nice the thing up? She
Okay,
didn't
scientists
help
basically
scientists.
stole her
When
body.
she died, they stole
No,
her.
that was before.
No, like they actually it was before, but what I was reading is like when she died is when they really started cultivating
Yes.
because they discovered that before Henrietta Lacks, like they would only have like a few days. Cells used to live only for a few days
Yeah.
outside of the body. But with Henrietta's Lacks, they found out that her cells were special and they could live for a significant amount of time. Not only that, is that you could repeatedly divide it and split it and create new cells.
Black woman.
So she was actually really special, and they actually found out that. So what they started doing, they started using her cells for all sorts.
So AIDS research, cancer research, all sorts. And her family or herself never received any money from the. And when I say they use, I mean like these biotech companies or these tech companies would be using her cells and getting the treatments done or whatever the case is.
Selling her cells.
Selling them.
Apparently, they created over 50 tons of her cells.
So all of that, and never once while her family was living in abject poverty, basically.
And guess what? There was a contamination of her cells, and then they started sending her family emails, and mails saying, can we requesting blood samples from her family so they could try and replicate or solve the problem. So that's when the family was like started digging into like why are these people asking for blood samples? Come to find out that these people were using their dead relatives' body parts, their cells, to literally fund scientific innovation and research which were making money off it, because it wasn't even that, it was for normal things. So if they wanted to test how human beings would react to a pesticide, they would use her cells for that.
Yeah.
So they were replicating it and using it for everything. This here is like the epitome of what white supremacy is, because you can't do something for yourself, but you will find it within the black community. You'll actually take it. You will take the credit for it. You make the millions of dollars from it.
Preach.
And then you won't even not just give the credit. You won't even give a penny. Matter of fact, it came out that with the NIT, I think they're called. They actually have no agreement with the family. And they put 2 members of the family on the board that oversees the approval of her cells. But guess what they said? Even though we've agreed to credit you guys every time her cells is used, we will not give you a penny of the money.
And that's absolutely unfair. Absolutely unfair. Because you did they didn't sue. I saw the trailer for the movie. I hope they did sue.
No, they sued to get the they sued
to get. Oh, so that's what they got
the
in return. They didn't get
representation.
no money.
No money.
Wow.
Not a penny. So these people are making billions of dollars off the body of a black woman. And this is what I'm trying to say. So when they come and say, oh, we're stupid,
Don't think we
are
are
unintelligent, we are foolish. That's what the film Get Out's about. It's black body parts, black technology, the black OS.
The black OS, yeah. They've been harvesting our body parts and all sorts for years and years. Melanin sells for a higher price than gold.
Yeah,
so
because
if it wasn't valuable, why is it more valuable than gold?
Our bodies are special. Our brains are special. Our intelligence is special. And that's just like with that film with those 3 women. You understand? And even so many of the patterns, we taught the world how to build roads, about irrigation, about science, about mathematics, algebra. All of these things came from Africa. Up to now, they can't replicate the pyramids. But yet they will tell a black child who's in school, who's not learning, the way how the system wants it to learn, that you are foolish, that you are dumb, because your brain may work a different way at times. And there's black people that do excel at the system, but there's not all black children that excel at the system that they have created.
The thing is that what used to occur is you would you would look at a child and you would see what their interest is, and you would guide them towards their interest. We don't even take time to do that to children anymore. You force your children into every extracurricular activity that you could possibly put them in. Most of the time it's for babysitting purposes, not even to say that they do it. So you got them doing music, you got them doing gymnastics, you got them doing dance, whatever the case is, which is all good for like a well-rounded person and stuff like that. But at a certain point in time, kind of need to hone in on what they're interested in and get those experiences in from early, so that they can understand, because a craft or something that requires loads of skill is not something that you can build in a 3-year college or 4-year college
Hell
degree.
no.
It's something that it requires a level of mastery that you should be practicing from a young age. That's why if a child is inclined to play the violin, whatever the case, piano, whatever the case is, they start playing at what, 6?
Mozart started at the age of 6, and he started practicing his composition skills at the age of, I think, about 10 or 12. And he didn't even write his first composition or play publicly live until he was 21.
So you see, all that
21.
all that time into building your craft. For some reason nowadays, we are fooled into thinking that everything has to happen in an express manner. But that's not the way that things work. You have to build, you have to hone your craft, you have to practice. Practice is important, doesn't matter what you're doing. You can't just... Your brain is a muscle in a way. You have muscle memory. Not muscle memory, but your memory. You're creating neuron paths by learning things. So it's like if you don't keep going over the path and the neurons don't keep traveling to the path, eventually it will die. So you can't just learn something and think that this is it. You have to continue to
100%.
hone your craft and learn
And
more about
also stop, as black people, I will say this, and I know I'm just going off partly from the Henrietta Lacks thing, but that situation, that story just made me feel quite proud to be pro-black. And you know, if I was born white, I would be pro-white, because I think a dog is pro-dog because he's a dog. He's not trying to be a cat. A cat is as hell for sure. Cats, you can see in their faces, they are pro-cat. There's some pro-cat motherfuckers. Matter of fact, it's that cats are like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to walk on your couch and I'm going to scratch it up because I'm a cat. And when I'm in your house, I own this. Cats move like they own it. That's how cats move. Dogs are more like master. Cats are like, nah, this run this.
Shit. Yeah, you want me, I don't want you.
We descended from Egyptian cats. We are royalty and we run this. So for me personally,
imagine cats remember that they're royalty.
Yeah, cats remember
that they're royalty. The domesticated cat remembers the fact that it's royalty. 100%. Best believe in the DNA. It know that.
It knows it. So for me personally, it's like, we don't understand this. White people, they put their children on a path from an early age. After school classes, extra classes, music lessons. Even though they want them to be an accountant, they still get their music classes, because why? Music allows you to interact with both sides of your brain. It activates both sides of your brain, which makes you actually smarter. Language does a similar thing. So they actually send them to learn a language as well. We just put our kids on the path of just formal education, just to the public school system. Whatever they teach you in school, that's it. You're not giving them any extra.
You don't say that. There's a lot of black kids out here on extracurriculars.
I understand that, but I'm saying that. But when I say we, and people keep getting caught up with blanket statements, I'm talking about the majority of us. Okay. If the minority is doing it, they're not speaking about it, because I know the minority does it. But I'm saying the majority of us need to do it, because you know what? The majority of white kids, they are doing this. Okay. So you know what? And the Asians as well, they do it as well. Trust me, they got the private tutors, they're pushing it. Why? Because they want the kids to be the best.
No, that's definitely a fact. That is a fact of those societies. There's the tutors, there's all of that. There's all the extra support that is provided. And I think it does depend a lot of times on economic circumstances. But what I will say is, and this isn't to knock anybody, because if you want to buy Jordans or whatever, go on if that's what you can afford. But I will say this to you. If your child does not have a bank account set up for them so that they can have some money to start a business or go to uni or take a gap year or whatever they want to do when they finish with school, I don't know, buy a car, put it to some kind of resource that can help them to better themselves. If you're not doing that, but you're buying your child all sorts of expensive shoes and clothes and all sorts of shit, you need to stop that bullshit.
Quick question then.
What?
Yeah? When your child reach 18, that's 18 years, right? Mm-hmm. And if you were to save £1,000 a year in an account for your child till they reach the age of 18, that's £18,000, right? So you could pay for their university without ever putting them in debt, plus getting them their first car, and still having money left over for them to even start a business with. Or if they want to be an entrepreneur from the get-go, you can actually just say, hey, you know what? Here's your first seed money. Like, I've saved it for you, 18,000. So you don't even have to be rich, because £1,000, that's less than £100 a month.
Yeah.
That you need to save for your child.
Yeah, 33.
And even if you cut that in half and you could only save £50 a month.
Yeah, you
still
end
have
up with
about
a decent amount. If you can only
9,000, almost 10 grand that you can still hand. If my parents, like, I know that the circumstances were different, but again, I'm not talking for every parent. I'm just talking about those who can do and ain't doing it. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
It means then that you could actually have the leg up, because that's all that happens. As soon as the majority again of white children, or the majority of Asians in the country, you're going to university, we have that money for you. Or you here's your first car.
Here's your gap year money, whatever the case is. And travel is so important. If there's anything and you need to scrimp and save during the year just so you can take your kids on a vacation to somewhere different, take them out of their normal situation, do that. Traveling is vitally important. It opens up eyes to see things that they wouldn't normally see. Gives you a different understanding of cultures. Gives you a different perspective. So traveling is absolutely important. So we're on to the segment that is called People's Business. So today, there's two things that's on my mind. One of them I know Dynamiks is going to have absolutely no interest in, but yeah. So this guy, this football player, yeah? Lyndon Antonio Trail. No, that's not him.
Okay.
Lyndon Antonio Trail. I guess he's a football player in America. He asked the question, why do black athletes marry white women all the time? It's a common occurrence in the community there, yeah? And another player by the name of Maserati Rick, and I suppose this is somebody that plays for another team and is relatively popular, I would assume, and has a white wife. He responds and continues on what the most ignorant and annoying, every stereotype that you could have of a black man that dates white women. That's what he came there with. He came there with black women too argumentative, black women this, black women that, black women ain't submissive, the typical black women ain't whatever shit. And that absolutely pissed me off, because I feel like there's a whole bunch of black men out here perpetuating these stereotypes, and that is not the case with black women at all. I will not say that black women are not hurt. I will not say that black women are not angry at life in itself, just like black men are angry at life in itself. But we do not come out of the gate swinging unless y'all give us a reason to swing. And y'all know you come to us with the most fuckboy shit in the world. Like, how do you expect to come up to a woman being the most a woman, particularly a woman, yeah? Being the most disrespectful fucker that you could, and you expect her to be anything but to give you a skin face? Like, really? If y'all would be respectful and y'all would have some direction and purpose in life, you will find that black women would react very, very differently to you. But when you want to, and I'm not saying that this is the case all the time, but I find when black men want an excuse to walk and trample over a woman and treat women the way that they want, they will always find every excuse to say that black women ain't shit and go ahead with a white girl. If you ask a normal black man who dating a white girl what he dating her, he say, okay, I love her, this and that, whatever the case is, that is not my problem at all. Go on and do y'all thing. But from the minute your justification and your excuse is based on the fact that you need to pull down the entire black race, which includes your mother, aunts, and sisters, grandmother, and whoever else precious to you. I find that to be a very asshole move to make.
No, I just think, for me, man, I think it's weak hearts. And I'm so sorry. Strong bodies don't make a strong man. Strong minds do.
Oh, yeah.
And strong hearts do. And a strong heart comes with understanding and love. You see, it's the reason why you see that some men, you see them in the bush taming animals and some men can't. And I'm talking about strong animals. But it's just how you approach the situation. Like, black women are queens. They've come from a line of queens. And if your mother has raised you properly, they would tell you certain things, how to keep your head up and how to look after yourself. Don't let any man just come up and talk to you in any kind of way. I don't know how other races are raised, but I'm just saying for because I was raised by a black woman and I have a sister, I know how that they've been told to react. So if you're coming as a man and you're coming not correctly, you're not coming properly, and you're coming indirect, and you're not in the club, you understand? The girl's walking down the road, and the only thing you can do is just talk about their ass before you even ask them what their name is. Of course, they're gonna look at you and be like, "Who are you? What are you talking about?" And I think you understand that a woman naturally submits to a man that they feel is capable of looking after them, like mentally and physically and spiritually, who they feel like they can trust that, because submission comes with trust. Like, to submit, if you into, I don't know if you're into BDSM, well, allegedly I'm not, but all I'm gonna say
allegedly you're not
is that
you come here like what his name is, Jeff Sessions. Nobody didn't ask you a question.
I'm just saying, I'm just gonna use it as an example that submission is like a sign of trust. It's one of the greatest signs of trust. So it means like for a woman to actually submit, it's actually a very strong act that she's actually committing. So it takes a lot of time and patience for you to get that out of her. And if you get that out of her, and if you deserve that, she'll give that to you. You don't even need to ask for it.
You preach, baby.
So when you walk into a room, if she feels your aura and she senses that you're a lion, she will be a lioness. And she will fight for you, not fight at you or fight against you. You don't even need to have to even ask for that personally. You don't even have to demand that. You don't even have to shout over her. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might just need to hit her like, "Babes, you fucking up." Or, "Babes, like, what are you doing?" Or just give her that look and she'll be like, "Oh, okay, sorted." And then when there is an issue, however, and there's a problem and you're messing up, she says, "Listen, I want to tell you this thing. You're messing up. This is for your own good, so I'm telling this to you. Like, you should listen, because that's how it works." Like, even a little child should be able to come up to a king and say, "You know what? Here's some good advice." And if you're a king and you're within yourself, you will take it, because why? You understand that you have created your own path with the help of God, so that no other man can encroach in your path and make you feel less of yourself because they have information that you don't even have. Or so a woman is giving you advice, you can take it. But these men out here, they're all up in their feelings because they have money, but they don't have the sense, like these footballers. Yeah, you've been handed money because they're buying you for your bodies, for you to go out in a field, you understand, and throw yourself and damage yourself. In football, it doesn't even last long.
No,
you understand?
And they die quick.
Basketball, you're subject to injuries. You understand? Then your career, you don't even last long. And these, you're making millions. These team owners are making billions from you. You understand? So just because I'm addressing the athletes and things like that. Just because you're being used and you're being paid 1% of what you're worth, and you have money, it doesn't mean that now you try and elevate yourself to the standard that white supremacy has set for you. You love who you love. So if you've been hanging out with a Becky or whatever, and it's been clashing, it's been clicking, and it's popping off for you, and that's blessed. Whoever. If you can feel somebody's energy and aura and you're drawn to them, that's fine. But if you are now trying to do dumb shit to who is your brother's sister, let's just say, because we're all brothers, they're showing it like, so somebody that you should be looking out for in the first place, and then they're not accepting it, and now you're going over to someone else who's accepting that, But you don't even realize that they could be accepting it for a different reason. They be like, well, he's got money, so you know what? I'm going to take it and I'm going to take his money regardless.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? So they will suffer the consequences to extract what they need to extract from you and then go. Or
And
it could be a fetish thing where they're like, oh, you're a black man. I've always wanted a black man, so I'll accept it because it's this fetish thing. But it doesn't. I've dated white girls, and I can tell you that if they're real with you, they will call you out on your bullshit. Mm-hmm. I'll leave it there.
I would just like to say, black men, y'all have a conception that black women are mad at you for something or whatever the case is. The only thing that we're mad at you for is the disrespect that you give to us. Disrespect us more than anybody else in this world, and you're the ones that's supposed to protect us and keep us. Like, be your sister's keeper as well as your brother's keeper, because black women definitely throughout the entire realm of history have had black men's back, to the point where when the Europeans was trying to colonize Africa and the tribes where there was women leaders, they wouldn't even try to talk to the women because the women were shutting them down one time. That's why they imposing misogyny upon the people. Yeah?
And another thing, I don't see white guys out there exposing white girls stereotypes.
Yeah.
White girls got some of the biggest stereotypes out there.
And
I won't even say what they are.
Yeah, and white guys ain't out here, like, white men ain't out here perpetuating that shit. Them, best believe them bitches on pedestals no matter what.
Exactly.
So, as a matter of fact, white men demonized black men because they were mad that their white women had liked them. So, your entire being is demonized based on that one thing.
Mixed race relationships were actually banned until 1967. Matter of fact, if you go and look up the history of the 1933 film King Kong. Go and look up the original King Kong film. You know what that is? That's about a black man.
Joe Louis, was it? Or
it's even bigger than that, because when I was reading it, it's just about the caricature of what white men saw black men as. They saw them as this animalistic ape with sexual lust and jealousy tendencies. That's what it was. So they went to this island where there were natives who were dancing like Africans, and what happened? They captured this gorilla and took the gorilla back. And what happened? This gorilla wanted this white woman, was lusting after this white woman. He went and stole the white woman out of the bedroom.
Climb up on a whole building.
Climb up on empire. But here's the thing. The twist about the Empire State Building thing is that actually there was this mass black migration from the south, and they were coming into the north. And because they were working for less and working for longer hours, they started taking a lot of the jobs that white men used to normally possess, which means that black men started getting richer while we're going broke. So that was to say that him falling off of the empire was actually to show when white people, because they started putting in the laws, they started taking the jobs back from black people. So that was that Empire State Building thing was a symbolization of that act that was happening. So that whole film was about symbolism and racism.
And you see
they made a whole film about that.
And everybody's gonna go and see the new King Kong, but nobody went to see Birth of a Nation. Nat Turner was lit.
Yep.
By the way.
100%. So that King Kong thing is about a black man loving a white woman,
basically,
and being this, you know what I mean? Oh, they just love them. You know the fetishization of black men.
Like I said, like, love who you want to love, but from the minute that you have to define it based on race and not the actual person, then you got issue there. Like, you should not be calling down black women just so you could feel okay with dating white women. Okay, my second. Wait, what are we doing? I want to talk about love and hip hop.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Number 2 for my people's business. I don't know how many of y'all started watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but ooh, child. Kirk, what the fuck? Yo. So the season just started. Episode 1. Okay, babe, you need to listen to me.
No, like, listen, Love and Hip Hop, like, yay. Like,
you're
portraying
so
black
right.
people as fucking idiots on television and
They
taking all of
themselves get paid to be portrayed as fucking idiots.
Yes,
on television.
because you know something, if you broke and you were washed up and you moved from a a D celebrity to a Z celebrity, and someone is waving money in front of you, and you're trying to climb back into the lifestyle. They're preying on people's poverty. That's what love and hip hop is. They're preying on people's poverty.
So
shout out to the people like Remy Ma and what's that girl that you like?
Cardi B.
Cardi B, who has actually gone on and used the platform for something positive. They're the 2%. 1, 2, 2%.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's how I calculate.
Anyways.
Yeah. But the rest of them, no.
I just want to say really quickly.
Young Jock, no.
I just want to say really quickly. Please let your life never get to the point where you need to advertise the fact that your husband had a whole baby on your head in the way that Rashida had to advertise what Cock done. Like, I understand that it brings up a lot of things because these things do happen in relationships and etc. etc. But the way how that whole season set up is like, what? Because you can obviously see that a guy lying. Like, he lying. Like, real lying. Like, that's just gross and trifling. And I genuinely hope, like, there's things that marriages can bear, I fully believe. But for a dude to be trying to start a whole nother relationship, having a whole baby and all sorts of other things, and then mad with a girl because she broke up with him, and that's why he stopped paying her money or whatever the case is, that shows you that your man ain't want you, your man wanted she. So, I sorry, in those situations, I don't see what it is. There's no argument there. I saw people online arguing about it. I was like, with all them facts, there was no other thing to do but leave. Like, what?
And that's the problem. People want you to stay in bullshit that they wouldn't stay in. But they want you to stay in bullshit for their own selfish gain.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you sounding all enlightened.
No, but that's exactly what it is. Like, half of these people talk about, oh, yeah, the bullshit, yeah, da. They want people to stay in bullshit for their own selfish gain.
Yeah.
I mean, even sometimes friends be like, oh, you know what? Nah, I don't break up with her because, oh, there may be light having her around, so they don't want to see her go. Like, it could be stupid things, but there's a lot of dumb things that people like.
There is things, but I mean...
I like her. I like him. Even though he's a dickhead, don't break up with him, but the person is actually suffering
Even though he's a
inside.
dickhead. Like, if somebody's a dickhead, I don't care who like him. It could be your mother, your father, whoever the case is.
Moms do it too.
That
Dads
person
do
being a
it.
dickhead to you... That person being a dickhead to you, they're not in your bed at night. They're not getting hit or cheated on or abused or whatever the case is. So,
Putting out a disclaimer, she's not getting hit, cheated on, or abused. Yeah? Okay.
anyways, they're not getting hit, cheated on, or abused. Nobody didn't say that.
I just had to, it was funny.
You had to Jeff Sessions it again.
It was funny.
Nobody didn't ask you that. Yeah, but he's right though. Anyways. Yeah, like, I just don't do it. It's just, it's so much easier to just not stress. Yeah. And don't put it on TV, that's for sure. Although for my own entertainment, I'm quite happy.
Yeah, and that's all the time we're gonna give to love and hip hop. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about.
Okay. What's on our minds this week? I realized that recently we've been doing our What's on our minds literally in fake news because all that's on my mind is literally the fake news. Because I can't go anywhere without seeing that bullshit. And it's hilarious, but scary at the same damn time. But
I've stopped watching the news secretly for like 2 weeks now because I'm just like, once I saw that it was distraction, I was like, okay, I'm not getting distracted. I need to get my bread up. So I started working on ways to get my bread up. Because Donald Trump, I've realized, is getting his bread up.
oh yeah.
And these guys are going to go from billionaires to multi-billionaires. So
I don't think he's a billionaire, so he might actually attain the billionaire status if they don't impeach his ass first. But anyways, what's on my mind is quite short. I just want to say, I need people to look at the context of things before they come through and try to be petty. And I also need people to check their privilege and look at the context of things again before they come through and try to be petty. Like, I understand pettiness is a new cute. Like, I petty as fuck too. Like, everybody enjoys a little bit of good petty. But there's a time and a place for petty. And it's not when people are trying to have a constructive conversation. And it's not when people are actually trying to build on something. There's no reason for you to come through with an attitude. Like, I realize a lot of people just come through and try to shut down a situation or whatever the hell it is that they think that they're doing. When in actuality, what you're doing is just an offense for no reason.
Man.
Like, what you should be doing. Is it offense or oh, it's offense. Anyways.
Yeah, it's offense, though.
What you really should be doing is minding yourself. Like, if you cannot contribute constructively to a conversation where you can see it's a serious context, don't come in there trying to be petty and picking on what people say. Another thing is generalization. People need to understand that when people use a general broad term, if it does not apply to you, continue to scroll, continue on your way. You don't need to leave a comment. You don't need to leave a message. You don't need to answer back. If it doesn't apply to you, just chill and suavemente move the fuck on. Like, dead ass. Like, stop picking unnecessary fights with people. Like, you spend so much time doing that shit for no reason. It's not necessary.
It's called boredom, and it's called entitlement. You know, people feel because they're on a social media platform that they're now entitled to respond. Hey, if I shouted out in the middle of the street, not everybody would respond.
Like, people are entitled to have their opinions.
But people is like, for me, you're entitled to have your opinion. But like you said, if it doesn't apply to you,
scroll.
Just keep going, because at the end of the day, like, pettiness is for young people. It's for children. It's for teenagers.
No, pettiness
like, grown
is
folks. Grown folks, listen, grown folks, they are above, like, you know, a real grown person. If I see you coming at me with pettiness, I would just step to the side. You wouldn't even know that I've stepped to the side, and before you know it, you've fallen.
Excuse me. There's always a time and place for petty. Don't listen to he. There's always a time and place for petty. However, the time and place for petty, you know, petty is like, that's, you know, you get to that point where you could just subtly shade people. You get to that point where you can just...
There's grown people. There's grown people classy shade. Where I would just hit you something with shade, and you think you don't even know that it's shade until 3 days later you're like, oh wow.
That's like Remy Ma learning sign language to talk. You know, Remy Ma went and learned sign language just to talk to Foxy Brown.
Oh wow.
That is shade. That is the type of petty shade that if you feel to implore,
that's classiness.
You can.
Pettiness is like the little dumb nonsense.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a beef with you, then you go and you start liking my girl's pictures or something like that. That's
like that type
pettiness.
of petty.
That's just like, what are you even doing?
It's not necessary.
Like what are you doing? That's so childish. No, that's what pettiness.
Get some zen in your life. Like, when you feel like being petty, treat it like if you want to have a cigarette. When you feel like being petty, take a deep breath.
Get some God in your life.
Yeah. Get some God in your life.
And actually, then you start realizing that, you know what? There's things on this earth that are worth a lot more. Matter of fact, people are struggling and suffering, and by the time you're going to be petty, you could enlighten yourself, get some knowledge or something. Go help somebody. Go help the homeless. Like, right now, Britain got a homeless epidemic.
Oh yeah, like, one man stopped me today, and it was almost in tears walking home. And then on the way home, I counted about 7 people lying on the road in sleeping bags, etc. And I was just walking on the one road that I had to walk through to get to my house. So that is absolutely ridiculous.
So thank God that summer is coming, so at least these people will get a little bit of respite from the cold.
But it's still not good. Like, you can't be in this country and sleeping on a road people who think that their country bad or whatever the case is, the thing. Listen, if you could afford to get some wood and you could afford to get like some coconut leaves or whatever, and you could build yourself a little hut, a little shack or whatever the case is, you're in a great condition compared to a lot of people in this world. So
in the UK
particularly,
town turns into soup kitchens
at night, and the people coming out of the woodwork. So you get soup kitchens popping up, and you got over 50, 60, 70 people popping up there, and that's in one place. That's not counting the rest of them all over the place.
You know, your prestigious HSB bank that right outside of that gets turned into a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Like this whole thing, like foreign. We need to do a actual thing on foreign, because let me tell you about foreign. If you ain't got no heat in here, you really don't have no heat, and like, you gonna have to figure something else out. If you can't pay rent and you get kicked out and you not on that system, you end up out on the road. And if you end up out on the road, there's no respite. There's no fruit trees growing here. Ain't no vegetables growing out on the road here. Ain't no fresh, clean water nowhere around for you to get any. Literally, you have to buy everything. So, think twice about this struggle out here. Okay. So, yeah, I think we're done with that. Is there anything on your mind?
Well, what was on my mind was you said it all. It's just it was the same thing about the pettiness, and also about for me it's like how I would say people who are privileged, and I mean white privilege, intrinsically biased and don't even understand that they are, feel the need to be offended when somebody's being pro-black. Well, I've already touched on that, but that's what's been on my mind. Like, let us
Let's
express
live.
ourselves and our self-love in peace. Like, okay, I get that we've partied together, we've hung out, whatever, and you're on my Facebook still, fine. But when I'm showing love, because I'm allowed to grow, I'm allowed to change. Like, one thing though, I've never let anybody made a racist joke and I've giggled with them about black people. No. Even when I was unenlightened. No, you can't be saying certain things. You can't look down on people. Don't try and mock my accent too tough because I'll get offended. Don't try and mock black people too tough because I'll get offended. 100%. I wasn't nobody's person to come and play in my hair and pat me. No. I don't play those things. So even when I was unenlightened, I've always been technically a pro-black person. And now I'm even more pro-black. Because you know what? When you're the least loved, you need the most love. And that's all I'll say.
And when you meet me and you hear my accent, stop saying wagwan. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that does not impress me. You having a Caribbean accent does nothing for me because it's not real. Anyways,
We've got you to the Black Business of the Week.
Black Business of the Week. This is a little different this week.
Riah's crush. Carry on.
There's something going on right now in Somalia that needs everybody's attention. Shaka Baz brought it to the attention of everybody on his Instagram, as did Forbidden Knowledge and Colin Kaepernick and quite a few other people in the conscious community. Right now, there's approximately 11 million people living in Somalia, and over 1 million are internally displaced, while another 1 million Somalis are registered as refugees in the Horn of Africa and Yemen. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs stated in a 2016 report that 1 in 12 Somalis struggle to meet their needs regarding food and water. The report also stated that approximately 305,000 children under the age of 5 were suffering from malnutrition. So the appeal is hashtag Turkish Airlines. So hashtag Turkish Airlines, and if you post a video, you can get facts about Somalia from anywhere. So for anybody that's like on social media or whatever the case is and have an influence, hashtag Turkish Airlines and post a video speaking about Somalia or just explaining a short little clip or whatever the case is. I just go and hashtag Turkish Airlines on Twitter and highlight Somalia, whatever the case is. But it's vitally important that they get aid there now. There's a drought, there's a famine going on there at the moment, an impending drought. Millions of people are displaced and hungry, and it's not good condition for anybody to be in. Somalia has been at civil war for the past 26 years. I am not even 26 yet. So they've been at war as long as I've been alive. I can't imagine what that is like to have lived in and grown up in.
Turmoil, anguish.
And there's people who were slated to be refugees either in Europe or in America, and now they're getting held back by all of these policies that are changing. So people are actually returning to Somalia.
Shout out Donald Trump for inspiring white supremacists all over the world.
But on a serious note, if you can go, if you don't have him already. There's this guy called Shaka Baz. That's CHAKABAR. I think it's Z at the end of S.
You got S written here.
Shaka Baz, yeah, on Instagram. And if you follow him, He's got great information. He's doing work in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He's been in Ethiopia as well. So doing a lot of good things in the community. So he's talks the talk and walk the walk. And he's fun as shit, but he's a vegetarian. Anyways.
Anyways, like I'm gonna say, like I'm gonna definitely support. I'm gonna have to send some money because Somalia has some of the most beautiful women on the planet, and they should not be starving. And just on that basis alone, I will be sending them money.
Seriously,
Yeah,
that's all it
like-
takes. You're a man at heart, huh?
Nah, but I don't like to see people starving,
It's okay.
and I don't like to
babes.
see beautiful
understand.
women starving. So like, I'm
Kill
killing
two birds with one stone, innit? Anyways, everybody, thank you for listening. I'd like to shout out Jeannie and Maury. Thank you very much for bigging up the podcast and sharing it with all your friends and family.
And Nige as well for
Appreciate
sharing it
And
as
Nige as well for sharing. Thank you guys. Continue to share and support. Angry Black People on Instagram, ABP Podcast on Twitter, ABP Podcast on Facebook, or Angry Black People on Facebook. My personal Instagram at Riah B. And Dynamiks. What's your thing?
It's at Lennis Dynamics on every single thing.
On every single thing. Yeah. So yeah. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Have a good weekend. Beep.